Hello.
How many
Welcome
weeks
back.
has it been?
It's
How
been like a
many?
month, I think.
I thought 3 weeks. We had 3 weeks off, so it might have been a month
Really?
end to end.
I thought it was like 4 or 5.
Really?
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. No, we had some alternate
Did
weeks,
we?
yeah, and we had a 3 week gap. 1 week because of you, 1 week because of me, and 1 week because of us. That's 3 weeks.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
3 weeks. So it
Okay.
has been 4 weeks since
Since
last.
yeah, correct. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, a month. Fair. Well done, team. Crack this mystery, which was not a mystery. Just we've
You can just look
reconciled.
at the last video.
Yeah, we've reconciled dates,
All right.
and now
What?
you feel rejuvenated. And
Yes. For now, for this
okay, all
week.
right, for this week. All right.
I did do a little bit of something,
Oh, okay.
but I also need to recollect what that was.
Yep, of course.
Let me just find my way. I guess this is what happens when there's a long break. I'm like, how do I
You do it. How do
how
I
do I
click on these
share my
buttons?
screen? Yeah.
How do I?
How do I do anything? But how are you?
I'm decent. As I've told you, I have not been going to the gym the last.
You still haven't gone?
I have not gone yet. I have
Wow.
not gone in. I've done some. I've done like a few squats at home. I did 3 or 4 squats. Not enough for you. I get it. Look, I get it. Not up to your standards. I understand. But I'm slowly working my way back with some stretching, with some. It takes a lot to get me out of. It takes a lot to get me into the gym.
Is it because you had like an interruption to your, I don't know, flow?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's not as easy for me to get back into the flow, especially when it comes to like lifting heavy things and hurting my body. It doesn't seem like, oh, let me
I get
go,
it. Yeah.
tear my muscles so they can rebuild themselves. Not an immediate
I
thing.
get it. You know how many squats I did
In life?
today?
Oh, today.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
sorry. Today, okay. Today you did 0 squats.
Oh yeah, you're so right.
There you go. That's easy.
I'm actually doing this. It's really stupid because I
Mhm.
know it's not the most effective thing, but like years ago, like a decade ago, I saved this post on Instagram from like not really a friend, a previous boss, I guess.
Okay. Wow. On Instagram.
Like,
All right.
yeah, during co-op actually when I was
Okay.
a baby designer. Actually, before I was even a designer, um, she shared this like 30-day squat challenge,
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
and I had forgotten about it until I was like, you know what? I'm gonna clean up my saved things on
All
Instagram,
right. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, what is this? So I'm actually going through that right now, and I'm on day 25.
So you have been squatting.
I have not done today's.
Okay. So I
Know.
happen to have been correct due to time,
Yeah, yeah.
but I would have been wrong. See, okay. Wow. That's good to know.
Yeah. Again, I feel like squats alone is not the most helpful, but whatever. It's something. Okay. Enough chit chat.
Yeah. That was so painful.
Let me add How do I do this again? Extra camera. Okay, do you see? No, you don't.
Okay, yeah. Without fail.
Why is it?
Without fail.
Okay. Let me find my windsurf. I'll just figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, what did I do? What did I do? Is this the best to figure out what I did?
Commit history is not a bad idea.
Oh, look here.
And then could you please increase the font size
Yes.
for those of us in the back?
Okay, so what did I do? Oh, I did stuff. Oh yeah, I was trying to. So there was a bug that I introduced. I think we talked about it last time.
Yes.
At some point, I introduced a bug where the timestamp was not correct. So like I would enter a journal entry at, I don't know, like 10 p.m. and it would say it was submitted 2 a.m. in the future. And I'm like, no.
Classic, yeah.
And the first time I tried to fix it, I could not. I don't know why I could not get to it at all. But I think I fixed it 5 days ago. And then I had to fix like the old entries timestamps as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I and then I commented out account deletion because I was like, it's unnecessary.
Why is that even there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think this is me going like, oh, the settings pages don't look like each other. I think I don't think I broke anything there. And then I updated the nav for the logo.
Okay.
And then there was I also don't know when this broke, but the feeling colors were not displaying properly. So I fixed that. And then I added pagination.
Yeah, okay, cool.
For some reason. Okay, let's see. So yeah, just gonna click through. Yeah, I think I fixed like the heading because for some reason all the pages looked different. And I just wanted to like make them visually look the same. But I feel like we're at a point where we can try to deploy it, unless there's something that I should not do.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go. Let's get it done.
So what should I do?
You tell me. Did you do any deploy homework?
Not really. Oh, actually, no. I did a little bit of chatting with Windsurf.
Okay. on how to deploy?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't read off it.
Well, yeah, I guess the thing that matters most for now is where you want to deploy. And I peeked Netlify there.
I said I want to deploy using Netlify. and then it says they don't support
Yeah.
server-side APIs.
Yeah, I think they do. They might do like edge functions, maybe, which is because ours has like a proper backend server where some of these deployment services create on-demand endpoints that aren't always running. Like when you typically deploy a server is always running, but some of these services will create functions. So that's what that feels like. Some of these services will create functions that you can deploy, and with access to endpoints. So it's a more of a distributed type deployment versus a central server. Ours is a central server. And so, yeah, NetFlow 5 might not be the place. I would imagine then perhaps that Repellent might be. I don't know how to do that on Repellent, but maybe we can. I mean, we might not be successful, but we could fiddle around with the Repellent UI and docs to try and figure out how that's possible. If that doesn't work, then do you have your credit card ready? That's all the answer. That's the only thing I want to know.
I have my credit card.
And
I have a credit card.
And how much are you willing to spend on your project here on a monthly basis? I mean, I'm sure you're already throwing some coin at the internet as a result of like a number of different services that you've used.
Uh-huh.
So we could try things like DigitalOcean, which are a bit more involved. But why not? Like, it'll introduce you to certain concepts. You don't have to be an expert at any of it. But there might be some starting points that we can leverage and create a deployment environment. Let's play around. Let's see how far we can get.
Okay, so should I check out Replit?
Yeah, let's start with Replit, because that might be one of the easier ways of doing this. You can also talk to Windsurf as well.
Mm. Like for Replit, like do you have to? Yeah, I guess I've only used Replit in the context of like the Replit interface. So I don't really know what.
Yeah, I don't either. So we might have tried this before and failed, but maybe we could try again. If you go into your Replit account, there might be a place that allows you to import a GitHub repo. And I feel like many months ago we tried this, maybe with a different app, maybe with Cocoon. I don't remember.
I would do that off screen.
Okay, yeah, try and see if you can find that, see if it accepts it. In the meanwhile, I am Googling on my end typical deployment environments for Nuxt apps. Yeah, Netlify uses edge functions, it says here. The service like Heroku, which used to be very accessible back in the day, but I don't know what they look like now, just in terms of pricing, in terms of database access, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just clicking around here. We might have to try a few different ones, Mary, until we find a fit. So I will put Heroku on that list of things to try. And then there's things like, so DigitalOcean is on this list. Interesting. Okay. DigitalOcean is on our list now, alongside Heroku. Because we're using a Postgres database. We're doing a bunch of different things. And so, wait, are we using Postgres or are we using SQLite?
We are using SQLite.
SQLite database that requires a file system access. Okay, well, let's see how well this works. DigitalOcean might be our best bet.
Should I still try this?
Yeah. It's worth it for just the investigation and the learning. Even if we aren't able to be successful, we'll at least know.
Okay.
And if it works, then we don't have to add another tool in the tool set, like replicate something's already available to you, and that's why, really. So just for clarity, are you connecting into the back end? Because otherwise we just have a lot of dead time here.
I'm
You
signing into my GitHub with the
got it?
passkey.
Sorry. Okay, just so just so we know. What I'm doing on my side is, if we end up, I'm just prepping in the case that we do have to use DigitalOcean, trying to understand what our options are. And there's the expensive way, and then there's the hard way. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to do it the hard way, probably. So I'm just trying to find some tools that may make it easier. I haven't done this kind of a thing in many months, over a year. So it's just a refresher for me as well.
Okay. I am. Oh, damn. Okay. Hold up.
Okay, there it is.
Okay. I'm gonna go off screen and
Upgrade your account?
upgrade my account.
Wow, that's commitment. That's commitment. And then how would you feel if you did upgrade it and Repulus like, sorry, we can't import your
Well,
app?
it's fine.
Okay. All right. I just want everybody to be aware. Are you okay to answer questions while you work?
Sure.
Have you ever registered a domain for yourself?
Yes, but only for like portfolio purposes.
Got it. Yes, you have. Okay, great. We may or may not need to do that today if we use DigitalOcean. One of the advantages of using some of these services is they take care of a number of different steps that you have to do on your own. So immediately you have like a subdomain off of Replit or off of Netlify. Whereas with DigitalOcean, it really is just a server service mostly. I don't think I've seen here anything that like it is for more like, yeah, like you do have to have some deeper technical knowledge in order to deploy with DigitalOcean than you do with these other typical tools.
Okay. But yeah, I don't like. This is just me shit talking Replit, but I don't like that after I upgraded, it just got me back to the homepage rather than where I was. But I get it. I get it. It's fine.
If this doesn't work, I'm going to stretch my neck. It's tight. It's tight over here. That's fine. Oh, we could try Heroku though. Heroku will be easier. They do provide something. I don't know. I just mentioned it and then I forgot. But this seems to be doing something, which is encouraging.
It's been a minute since I've been in Replit. I'm just like clicking around.
Yeah, so it is doing a pretty good job in trying to determine what it needs to do, what the components are. It's figured out the next three: SQLite, Keysly, gRPC, et cetera. So I feel like it will have a pretty good idea on how to manage this. And if not, we can fill in the gaps.
What have you been up to the last 4 weeks? Other than not working out.
Really, that. I define myself by the things I don't do, not by the things that I do. So I haven't. I don't know. Part of me during these 4 weeks did want to try and finish some projects that I started over a decade ago, or just about a decade ago, but I didn't do it. It's been on my mind lately, and so maybe I'll find the right moment and engage in that at some point. So we'll see.
What made you want to do it in the first place?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes you let certain things linger, like this project, and then I'll have to revisit it. It's a writing project, so I was a different person, not by choice, but just by time, like, and whatever I was going through at that time resulted in what I had written. It's a bit odd to me to revisit it now, so many years later, and put it together, to edit it and maybe rework some of it. So
Did
I
you
had one,
revisit it?
bits and pieces. Yeah. So I want to start at some point. I don't know when. Maybe I won't ever do it, but it's the inkling is there, but it's very light. And a part of me did in the last 4 weeks want to spend some time on it, but I didn't do anything beyond the cursory. What about you? What mysteries have you solved in the last 4 weeks?
I thought I solved how to swim, but
Okay, yeah.
but I still it's still not like connecting. For context, I did not learn how to swim as a kid, and now I'm trying to learn as an adult, and it feels so like impossible as an adult to learn something physical. I feel like.
Yeah, fair, especially in your old age. I completely relate.
I mean, the last time
Go ahead.
the last time I tried to like skate, I like hurt my wrist, and my wrist has
right,
never
yeah.
been the same.
Yeah, exactly. You don't just you don't just get up and go. So I'm also reading from time to time what this fella here is doing, and it says, let me edit the migration file to create the journals table, and I wonder why it needed to edit it. Was our code not good enough? Were we not good enough for you, Replit? Okay, but let's see. I mean, it's fine. It's not like we're committed to its changes, but will you look at this? No, yeah, it's changing. It's restarting. It's it's running into errors. It's trying to correct them. That's fine. On the point of swimming, I mean, when you say you thought you could figure it out, but you haven't figured it out. So there's multiple stages of swimming at the moment, right? Like sometimes when you try and swim, you just end up floating instead. Sometimes you end up drowning. Sometimes not permanently, just like you're like, you're struggling, so you're not able to
that.
And then sometimes you're just able to hover, because when you say you haven't been able to figure out swimming, the mystery of swimming, I can't imagine it's that you cannot swim at all. So just bring us to where you are.
I don't know how to breathe.
Like you do that every day, though.
I don't know how to like breathe underwater. Like I thought I was breathing out underwater, but this morning, I went to practice by myself at 7 a.m.
Oh wow, commitment.
Yeah, commitment. I was supposed to go yesterday and I didn't. So
it's still it's better commitment than I've done to my gym. So go ahead.
Wait, it did something.
Like, is it done?
It says it's done, but
6 minutes of work.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Could it possibly? Hold on, I need to put in my actual password.
Do you? It probably doesn't exist in this.
Actually, no, that's true.
Right?
Wait, I need to create an account.
Yeah, because we have a new deployment with a new database with new everything. And remember, this version is still just your dev version. not your deployed version. So even after you do this, I feel like the deployed version will also be from scratch. I believe. I hope so.
Okay. Okay.
Someone needs to do something about that delete all snapshots button being the landing page of this mood app. Who's designing this thing? That's what I want to know. Okay, sorry, I'm done. I apologize.
I also have like dark mode.
Yeah, dark mode envy, got it. So there's a few things that we will probably have to adjust here. One, that it's not working. Are you able to get into the console here? And then we can take a look to see if there's any errors. Okay, that's good. That's good. The word console is so loaded here. So this is the back end, or this is a server console, but this is the browser console. And we don't know at the moment where the error is. And typically on a web app, we want to start with the browser. So your browser console, like your,
I see.
inspect fella. But you were right to go to the server as well. Like it's so in the console tab where we can see 50 odd errors. Let's end up clearing. Yeah, let's end up clearing all of these. And then go ahead and take the action that you want to take, and then let's see if it triggers any additional new errors. That might not be the case. Then let's do maybe a refresh. In there, yeah, to see if that triggers some, and it does here. There's some WebSocket errors. Okay, fine.
It did something.
It did something, yeah. So it seems like there are some developer-related errors here, which we may or may not be able to figure out. But just in order to maybe skip certain steps, just in case, because these WebSocket errors will not happen in production. They're specifically development related. And so maybe we can simply try and deploy the app and see if we get any success there. So the flow that I would want is for you to deploy the app, make a change on your local environment, not even in the Replit local environment, just in your actual local environment, push. See if you can pull from GitHub into Replit. I don't know if Replit provides that. And then redeploy to production. So the idea being that you won't really use the Replit dev environment. You have your own, you have what you need there. And maybe we can only use Replit for the production space.
How do I see? I know you don't have the answer, but how do I even see my code base here?
I have some answers.
You do have answers?
Yeah.
Oh, is this it?
That would have been it. There's also something called tools and files right there, right in the header. So I thought maybe, for example, if you did select files or something, this may help you get to them. But yeah, I think you found type in files here. Okay, so you can actually search for individual files here. As you saw, like feelings pops up. What happens when you click feelings? I'd be curious to see. So maybe just search for a file that feelings.json. And then, so it opens it up, and then the side panel is, so there's a preview panel, and then here's the editing panel, I suppose. Okay, cool. Good to know. So I don't know here whether it is actively connected to Git in any way. Like, I know it pulled in the code from GitHub, but does it have the idea of like pushing code to GitHub? Does it have the idea of pulling code from GitHub? Those things are unclear to me at this point. Maybe under tools and files, can we search for like Git even maybe? Yeah, Git version control for your app. Perfect. Okay, yeah, so sync with the remote. I believe we'll do it. So you do have a pull and push here,
Okay.
right? So potentially that would work. So let's go ahead and publish for now. You can remove the browser console so that we get more real estate.
How do you close this?
Yeah, the X. And then the X again, yeah.
Okay.
So we might run into database trouble here, unfortunately. But that's fine. Let's not worry about it. Let's just try and push our way through. One thing, though, that we will need is, okay, that sounds expensive, like $1 an hour. Is there like a free version? Have you not? You have deployed. Okay, yeah. Pull it all the way down, please. Yeah. Nice try, Recollect. That's still the 21 cents. Still works out to a lot. So that's not, this portion is not encouraging. But you have deployed previously to Recollect, right?
Yeah.
And were you paying like $150 a month for it?
No.
What happens when you select reserved VM instead of auto scale? I wonder if they have like a. Do they have? And let's see if we could get a lowest option. Because remember, at $20 per month is the cheapest that they're willing to deploy at. Okay.
What does scheduled mean?
I don't know.
Oh. Hold on. Let's look at the docs.
Maybe it's like every so often it'll make it available, deploy, make it available. But yeah, that doesn't feel good either. Let's take a look at Heroku. Like, I wonder why they don't have like a $5 a month kind of thing for like, zeroed out level apps. Kind of find that very weird. So our friends at Heroku do provide like a $5 a month deployment thing at a very low level server, which I feel like we ought to be able to do. So maybe I know you just like subscribe to Replit, so I don't know how you want to handle that with you and your,
It's fine.
Is it fine?
It's fine.
But now I did say pull out your credit card at the start of this because we are now going to attempt Heroku. There's probably a few things that I'm going to try and. So why don't you sign up for a Heroku account? See if you can yeah, I guess see if you can find out how to. Do you have to talk to someone?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but let's see.
Okay, yeah. In the meanwhile, I'll try and see. The thing about a SQLite database is that it's in the file system. And then the thing about these deployment environments is they're very, like, in the way that most deployment systems are done nowadays, they all start off with the file system as if it was fresh from Git, and then maybe some additional environment variable changes. So there isn't this idea of a persistent file that always remains. All, deployment systems historically have done that, but if you want to develop on multiple servers, then you can't have like a SQLite file on each server. So you'd have to have a shared SQLite server. But again, for a simple app, you don't want to worry about all those things. I just want to deploy. So the thing that we do need to find out, ultimately, regardless of whether it's with Replit or Heroku, is there a simple way for us to configure to tell Heroku, hey, don't, like, between deploys, don't get rid of this one file, which is our database file. Retain it between deploys. So
Sorry, I'm just signing up for Heroku.
yeah. So I'm just searching to see if there's any documentation on how to do SQLite on Heroku. So all of these services really desperately want you to use. So I opened up an article from 2022 on Heroku saying SQLite on Heroku. And it's guiding us on how to replace SQLite with Postgres. It's not like here's how you can make SQLite work. So
interesting.
because if we do, it might seem like the easiest solution, broadly speaking, and this is very unfortunate, right? Like, and it speaks to the state of deployment, is that, like, I can't use a simple tool like SQLite to get quickly started and quickly deploy end to end. At least with this tooling, like there isn't like a, oh yeah, we do it, no problem.
I did not know that Heroku is a Salesforce.
They got bought out. Does this prevent you from proceeding with the sign up?
Oh, it's asking me if I live in Italy, which is kind of funny. So random.
So rude.
Okay.
Yeah, none of these, like, I can't believe I can't just Google how to do this and it would just be simple. Like, simple and cheap. This is a zero, like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, your practice apps. It's like a starting learning developer. And now I'm being asked to like, the default repellent setting is what? Like 3 servers with, you know.
Yeah, I feel like unless you're like trying to make a business out of it, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like I made a weekend app that I want to share with my friends.
Yeah.
Should that cost you an arm and a leg? And even before like the auto scaling, the lowest auto scaling version is still $150 a month on Replit. We might mildly struggle with Heroku as well. So I just want to prepare you to be ready to have to deal with things.
I'm putting in my credit card number.
I would. We will have to upgrade to Postgres, so maybe we can do that locally. And you can have your Windsurf AI engine start to do that.
Okay.
So that's a mildly unfortunate thing.
Sorry, what should I do?
So our database is using SQLite, and we want to convert our code to begin to use Postgres. And so you might want to start a different session because now this session is kind of polluted with a different context. I guess just ask it what you would need to do to start using Postgres instead of SQLite.
Spell.
What are you drinking? Excuse me.
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale. Okay. Is it done in its response here?
There are 6 steps.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh wait, this one says it's already done.
Okay, so we've already done that. Excellent. Add Postgres connection string. So typically, those are the 2 ways to do Postgres strings. We want to use option 1, which is the database URL, because a lot of hosting services will typically follow that format. So go ahead and add option number 1 line to our .in file. Is there a scroll up on this file? Yeah, there you go. So instead of the SQLite path, we'll just have the database URL instead. I mean, let's instead of removing it for now, let's do it in addition to, and then we can slowly alter it. And let's just review this. Okay, yeah. So it comes with the username and password, localhost, and such. Now, locally, I remember from one of your previous projects that you had installed Postgres locally.
I think so.
So you're telling me you did not become a Postgres expert?
I do have it locally, yes.
But you're not an expert, correct?
No.
Okay, that's too bad. Okay, fine. Because we're gonna need the username and password for this database. So if you had configured it in the other app, it would have been configured similar to what you see here. And then our database name would change. So our database name here is Cocoon, but the database itself is still running on, or the database service is still running on 5432 on localhost. So what we would need still is the username and password.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar at least?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, good luck to us then. It's precisely for these reasons that I really like SQLite as a starting point, because it's just a file. But our deployment friends don't care.
Like, I have it's been so long too that I'm like, I don't remember what I did.
It's too bad. It's too bad. If you look somewhere in the code of that application, there might be a .n file as well. And if you're willing to share on screen the code of that other app, that might help me navigate the base. But if you're unwilling, that's fine as well.
Wait, which app?
The breakfast app.
The breakfast app, right?
Remember, you had it running locally at some point, and then you had
Right.
installed. Installed.
Sorry.
Postgres as a result of that.
Let me find it. It's been a minute since I opened. My windsurf just quit on me suddenly.
Did you know that Google just released a windsurf competitor API?
I heard.
IDE? Yeah. And it comes with Google Gemini 3 point something installed. But it seems like a fork of Windsurf itself, because the founders of Windsurf got bought out by Google, but not the company, but just the founders. And then I don't know how that worked in terms of the intellectual property transition.
Okay.
So
this is whose breakfast.
Is there a .NET file? I don't know if this is the place to search for file names, but it is there. It is. We can see it there. Did you see it there when you typed it?
This?
Yeah. Okay, it is not there.
Oh.
So this is turns out this is not the place to search for file names.
Is it this?
Yeah, I believe so. There you go. Right, you see here that.
Yes.
Yeah,
right. Coming back to me.
Yeah, you've got some neon business happening here. Now, it's not clear to me yet whether this is stored locally or whether your database is referencing the local database or somewhere in Replit. So if you scroll to the right, we will know, because typically the host of the database is stored here as well. And for certain, this is not on localhost. This is on Replit. Replit seems to be using something called neon.tech on AWS.
I think.
Did you sign up for Neon separately, though? That might have been the case.
I think it did.
Are you paying for Neon?
Okay.
In addition to everything else?
I think what I did was I used Vercel to deploy. And I think through that, I set up Neon. I think.
I see. Hmm. 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 And then additionally, you locally installed Postgres as well?
I don't believe so, but I might have. I don't.
No. Um, what machine are you on? Are you on your Mac?
No, I'm on a
On your,
Windows.
okay, got it. Yeah, just asking because I believe your Mac machine does have Postgres installed,
Mm.
which might have simplified some of this. So, but we can't go down that route. So yeah, on Windows, so typically when you install Postgres, it will have a default. Um, it might have asked you, or it comes with a default username and password.
But did I'm not sure if I did. Cause like I think
You yeah, not for Neon, but for your local installation.
okay.
Um, for your local installation, it would. Yeah, I want to avoid using Neon. I prefer just you go local and then Heroku straight up, and that's just the two places we would use.
Okay.
But in order for that to work, we would need um, sorry, let me think. In order for that to work, we would need to just get set up with Postgres locally, and then well, let's see. Can you go on your browser, just type in Postgres for Windows, download it, install it, and hopefully you'll be asked for a password, which we will then remember, and then leverage that password. Yeah. Yeah. Have you done this before?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. Then go ahead and get that. Latest version is fine. And then we'll install it, and then hopefully we're able to transition. I haven't used a bunch of these services in a long time. And so I think deep down in my heart, I was hoping that they would have some facility for SQLite.
Mm.
And I'm surprised in 2025 we don't have that fluid of an experience.
We have all this AI.
Oh, the AI builder, not a. I don't know what that. I don't know what any of that means.
We have all this AI and we don't have.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, just light. You mean we have all this AI, but we can't have SQLite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I like saying we have all this AI and we don't have
X.
anything basic. like like my alarm.
Mm-hmm.
This is like my morning wake up alarm has been like weird. Like one day it will be like blasting at full volume. The next day it's like silent, and I'm just like, what's going on? And I want to tell Siri to just fix it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
can't do that.
At the same time, what I do like about um, these voice activated things on my Google phone or my Android, that's what they call it, on my Android phone, I can tell it to set. If I said, "Hey, send me a timer or send me an alarm for, you know, 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 6:45 a.m., and 8:30 a.m., it'll do it. It'll set all of those 4 alarms without me having to. That feature I really like because sometimes I need to ensure I've woken up. And for those cases, I do need to set many alarms. And in that case, I say it once, it does it, it's done. I'm not there fiddling with the UI.
I like that, but in my case, even if it's set, I don't know if I'm gonna hear it because of the weird volume situation.
Then I would suggest setting one alarm 10 minutes from now.
To test it.
Mm-hmm.
On the setup wizard, which I don't know if I should be sharing or not, I created a database super user password.
Sure, yeah, that's great. Did it tell you what the username was?
No.
That's fine. Typically, the username is just Postgres itself, and then your user password will be what we put in that end file. So once everything is done and the installation complete, please note down your password somewhere, save it somewhere, close to your heart.
Should I note down the port number the server should listen on?
The default port number is usually 5432. If that's what it says there, then that's fine. Like we don't have to remember.
5433.
Then we do need to remember that.
Okay.
That might be happening because you might already have 5432 running somewhere, maybe. But that's fine. We don't care about the other guy.
Okay, it's installing.
Okay. And the idea here, like with the breakfast app, unfortunately, because you were still referencing your production database, which is Neon, you had in your local environment all that production data. So it seemed like, which is sometimes nice because when you have certain bugs that are data-based, then you're able to reproduce them locally easily. The issue there is typically you don't want local access to production environments, typically. Obviously, for an app like this, it's not a big deal. But generally, you want to have a separated local database environment that is separate from your production database. Ideally locally, but I guess it doesn't strictly have to be locally.
What was it like deploying Honeypot? It's been so long. I don't. Yeah.
I know. I honestly don't even remember. Do you remember what I might have done it on DigitalOcean. Let me actually go into DigitalOcean and take a look. It was so long ago that I have very little recollection in earnest.
I feel like compared to Cocoon, like we did that so quickly.
That's what it feels like. But also, I was just gonna say I was coding on it. Sorry. I don't know why. Look, I'm not. I don't know.
You're correct.
Take from that what you will. I'm just relaying the facts. Okay. I don't know why you reacted so strongly. Mary, I don't know why you thought I was insinuating, which is what you thought is exactly what I was insinuating.
This is great.
Okay, yeah, I do have a machine here called. We could use just this machine, can't we? I have a machine here,
Yes.
apparently, that I've been paying. How much for, you ask? Too much, it says here.
Oh
This
no.
here, it says here you've been paying too much. But I'm happy to contribute here. So hold on. Let me. Okay. Let's take a second here. Because I do have a machine called Random. But I don't remember much about it. So there is a way
Wait,
for me to figure this out.
what do you use it for?
I don't use it.
Oh.
It lives here. You know how certain things live rent free in your head? This actually lives charging your rent to my credit card on DigitalOcean. It's a different setup. So I'm going back to Honeypot just on my machine here to try and recollect what may or may not be done here. I'm not seeing any immediate indications of a deployment. Oh, I am actually. Did I really do that? So just give me a few seconds here. I do see something, but it's not clear to me. By looking at it. And then I think we did still use SQLite here. So hold on. There may be a way out, but it requires me to recollect a few things. Okay.
Should I stop sharing?
Well, so the trouble is, I wasn't, I wasn't planning on sharing anything. So I've come in without any preparation.
No, we can just look at you. And
I don't even know, because right now I'm not even. Oh God, okay, this wasn't even on my screen just yet. Oh my God. I was hoping to be a little circle so you could have saw. You didn't see. You didn't get to see any bits and pieces here, but this is okay. Listen. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. It just, I would have shared my screen immediately and tried to figure this out, but give me just a few minutes to see if I can get any semblance of what I did. And right now it's not looking great, I'll tell you that.
Okay, I'll be snacking.
I do have Honeypot here. I do have in the code, seemingly committed in the code, I have this thing called Kamal. And then I do have a config file and a deploy file. This deploy file is pointing to the server, so I did use Kamal. Kamal needs a few things in order to set up. I don't think Kamal is the best thing. I don't think it's the best thing for us to use. So Okay. Maybe I will. Maybe I will share my screen. We can use the existing server that I have. Let me just shift all this garbage off of my screen here. Let me actually set up properly. Okay, so I have a DigitalOcean box. It's there. I mean, the only thing this server is serving is Honeypot, which is not being used. So there's really no risk of messing about with the server if need be. And then I'm additionally just in the back end here before I start sharing my screen, just setting up some things that will make it easier for me to do so. So, and then maybe bits and pieces of it I can share my screen for, but other things like you have done, I will not be able to share my screen. So I'm just getting set up for that. Okay, so this can go on my screen. And then additionally, I can have a terminal on my screen as well. And
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
I don't know, because you were all like ready to
take a nap.
Show. Yeah.
Yeah, I was ready to take a nap. I've been yawning. I don't know if you noticed. I've been yawning throughout this. Yeah, you're gonna call me out? Okay, wow. That's fine. But now I'm awake. Now I had a cold cup of coffee here. Now which I'm like, because I made it a while ago, but I haven't been drinking it. But now I'm like, okay, there's none left in the cup. I'm ready. Okay, so all right, here we go. What I want to do is I wanted to set it up in a way that allows you to do continuous deploys without needing anything additional. And maybe I can walk through what I did with Kamal. Which maybe we can recreate. Let's see. Okay, fine. Because I'm jumping all over the place. But maybe Kamal is good enough to carry everything through. Okay, we'll start there. Just closing any other apps that will take up room here. And Apple Maps, for some reason, decided to start up on me. Okay, cool. And now we're here. And this, I need to move to a different screen. Okay, I'm ready. I'll talk through it. We'll see how useful any of that is. Okay, cool. Here we are, random acts of coding. I'm in Honeypot. And it seems like what I did here previously is to... So I saw Kamal here, which means I was using Kamal. Just for... Let me start off TMUX, because I'm a bit more comfortable in TMUX environments, just in case I need to split. All right, I have Kamal here. And then Kamal typically comes with a config file that you create, that it sets up for you, and then you modify it. And in this file, I have the IP of our server. I have the domain name, subdomain. So in DigitalOcean, I set up this domain. You know what I asked you? Hey, because I was like, oh, if we did Heroku, or Heroku does come up with a subdomain, but if we did DigitalOcean, we would need to set up a domain. But luckily, I have it set up here. So that's fine. There's a few things I don't like that we need to do with Kamal, which they may have changed. which is why I wanted something else, but I'll walk through it bit by bit. One here, we have the image, and the image here simply kind of like, it's, this duck honey pot is the name of the image. We're using something called, are you familiar with Docker, Mary? Yeah, so you have these Docker containers that essentially replicate a server environment, a very baseline, usually a baseline server environment with your code, and then you ship the container. So instead of just shipping your code files, you put your code files into this container, and then you ship the container. And effectively, the container is really just configuration in how it's defined, or it's a file system. So you ship this file system to a server that runs Docker containers. And then when you visit, say, a certain port number on that server with an IP or a domain and a port number, that port number then, or that domain then routes to that container. So the container is its own like mini server entity that is running on a physical server or virtual server. So a lot of the deployments these days are based off of sort of these Docker containerization. And Kamal helps deploy things using containers because it is a straightforward way of doing so once you're familiar with how containers work. One thing Kamal needs, which is not necessary when you use Docker with your own servers, is that there's certain registries. So the idea is that you build an image and then you push the image to a registry. So it's almost like pushing your code to GitHub. So a remote repository is for code, and a remote registry is for your Docker containers.
Okay.
But you don't have to. Technically, in the same way that you don't have to use GitHub, like you have the code on your local machine, and you could push the code directly to the production server. It doesn't have to go through GitHub, for example, or Git. It's easier not to use an additional service, like not use the registry, because we don't really need a backlog, especially for us. We don't need a backlog of our previous containers. It's just easier for us not to have this registry. When I was setting up Honeypot, I was reluctant in using Kamal because of this. But I was like, you know what? Just for learning purposes. So I had to just pay for a DigitalOcean registry alongside the server. So there's a machine and there's a registry. I'm like, and why one more thing? Because it's totally possible to push a container from your local machine into your remote machine without using a registry. So, and I wish that Kamal had done that, which is why I also didn't want that for you by default. But it turns out I already set it up. So, well, we'll see. And then for the SQLite issue, which I like here because it's covered, is I'm able to pass in some configuration. One, you can see that I'm passing the SQLite path. I think in Cocoon, we renamed this to SQLite something else, but so I can pass in, or maybe it is SQLite path. Can you check quickly?
Yeah, it's SQLite path.
Okay, great. So no changes necessary. We define it, and then we define a volume on our container that is a persistent storage volume, which means that specific path, so app storage, the app storage path where we defined our database, SQLite database, is not deleted between deploys. So now you're able to use SQLite. But you have to do all of this juggling to to get that done. You know what I mean? Like, I think most of these like click and play services are don't really allow for that. So this is not that bad. It's not that bad. But it does mean that you have to set up certain things on your machine that will allow you to push to it. And if you don't do that, then you won't be able to do that. So I'm trying to think. Okay, so that's one thing. Let me then cover the other option. I came to know about this system called CapRover. I wonder how up to date they are. So last week, so they seem to be, which is also Docker based system. And it does a lot of similar things that Kamal would do for you, but in addition, it has a user, like it has a UI, and then you can, on a single server, like it's for a developer who does not like spending hours and days setting up a server, build tools, send code to a server, build it, so forth, so on. A developer who uses, who should care about this? Yeah. So if you're a developer who uses expensive services like Heroku, Azure, etc., and is interested in reducing their cost from like $50 a month to $6 a month, that sounds like us. I see you nodding your head. So it's for this developer, right? And it pushes the code directly from your machine to the server without using a registry in between, although you could do that if you wanted. And I like the idea of this, but it is some work. So I'm wondering how we proceed. Also, we have half an hour. Can we accomplish? So the thing is, this will be rude here, I believe I can accomplish it in half an hour.
Of course.
But can you? I believe. I don't know. I might start and I might not. But can you accomplish it in half an hour? Is the question. And then,
No.
but then, what's our goal? Is the goal for the job to be done or for you to be doing the job? I'm happy to help either way. You're like, Adnan, I don't care, because technically using CapRover would be like using an external service.
I guess if you, I guess if you get the job done, quote unquote, what does that mean for like if I want to mess with the app in the future? Like, what do I need to know?
Yeah, I mean, what I don't like about this is like this has my registry. You can see my email. It'll have my password. Not thrilled about that. It's not a big deal. Also, I'm happy to share that password with you. Not a big issue. But I also like the idea of setting up the server in a way that it could serve multiple apps. And then setting you up with CapRover. So how about I go as far as I can for now in the next half hour, which is your limit, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do that. And then we could either off stream pick up. We could do an in between, maybe, if the urge is there, or we pick up whenever. So either off stream, we'll figure it out. And then some of this stuff might have to be done off stream anyway, because I would have to set you up with some private public SSH keys so that your machine can access the remote machines. So that stuff would have to be done kind of off screen, if not off stream anyway. So let's see how far I can get. I have not installed CapRover in a while either. So here they're saying create a droplet, but the setup I'll do myself here. You know what I mean? So we won't kind of push you to setup, but on an ongoing basis, I want you to have access to the machine.
Okay.
And the CapRover instance so that you can deploy to it. And this, we might not be successful here. In this half an hour, I might not be able to get done totally. So we have here, it says I need a domain name. I have one set up. So I don't want to share my DigitalOcean page, but I do have it off screen here, and we got it set up. It's here. So I have a droplet already, which I'd created. This is a random acts of coding droplet. Okay. I have a public IP, and the server specs here. So I chose server specs that were just a bit more than what is required here. Docker, we have I believe this is fine, but if not, I'll figure it out. And then, oh, I see. So it says just run the following lines, sit back and enjoy. Okay, let's see if that's true.
That's what you were trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. Sit back and enjoy. Just gonna copy paste this, send this to Mary. Gonna screenshot it. I said to her. Okay, so what I did do was I created this thing so I can SSH into the. I guess I have to do root at, so I can SSH into the machine that I have. It has Docker installed on it already, and I just want to make sure that there's no port collision. There will be port collision because Kamal takes over port 80 in Docker and pipes it to Kamal proxy, and then Kamal proxy will pass it to these individual apps because you could have multiple apps running on the same server. So I do want to get away from Kamal here. So the only thing I would need to do before we begin is to undo Kamal. But with Kamal, the thing is like, okay, so Kamal remove should do the job. Let's see. So if I go back here and run Kamal remove, it doesn't do it. Could not settle on the encryption client algorithm. That makes no sense. I will need to Google this. Am I not interested or am I continue? It's too late. Oh, no, I don't want this. Sorry, I thought it was going to be something quick and easy. But if now that we are here, Google, I'm going to copy the whole thing so that maybe it can figure out the larger issue. See, because we're on stream, I was going to try and do this old school. Like I was going to try and figure it out using Google. I'm not using a Rails app. This shouldn't be. Okay, allow less secure ciphers. Not recommended. So I think what I can probably do is let's just do random acts, Docker PS. Wait, this is my local Docker PS, which people shouldn't see. SSH root at random acts. And then Docker PS. I can just kill these. Okay, so Docker kill. And then Docker kill. This is simpler. Let me see here. There is some Kamal business here. So that's actually not good because on a restart, it may come back. So I don't know what. Okay, but let's move forward anyway, and we can figure that stuff out later. No problem. So let's go back here. Let's sit back and enjoy. Part of what I will need to do here is to have a domain that points to the server. And it's gonna ask me to do that in a bit. Okay, so I can do this, and I'll just do that off screen here. Effectively, what I'm doing is I'll just speak out what I'm doing. I am going on DigitalOcean's networking aspect, going to my domains that I have. The DNS to these domains already points to DigitalOcean. And then I need to create this star.something, a record. So I got it here. And my host name is going to be star.rover.random acts of coding. So star.rover.random acts of coding. So rover is coming from here. And then this will go to my random server. So that internal DNS record has been created. Great. It says to confirm this, go here. It says go here and type in. So like, for example, I could type in lala dot this. And if I do the DNS lookup, it seems to have been found. I'm going to DigitalOcean. So it means that anything should work here now from this point on, because I have a wildcard DNS entry set up. So I can say wee, and that should work. And then configure and initialize caprover. So this is locally. I need to install caprover, which I believe I had done previously, but it does not hurt to do this again. And this should give me the ability to run something like caprover server setup. And this would be in my repository. So I would actually have to do this for Cocoon, I believe, now. So let me pull the latest Cocoon code. And then follow these steps. Oh, yeah, it doesn't seem like I need to run this in the Cocoon folder just yet. That probably comes around here, but maybe I do. This doesn't say here. Okay, that's fine. Have I already started it? I guess. So it seems like caprover is running. It has taken over port 80 and port 3000 on this server. So the answer to this question now becomes yes. And then the IP address of my machine, which I will get from here, off screen, the server root domain, which is now rover dot, the rest of it. So I'm just going to ensure I have the correct thing here, copy pasting it over from my DigitalOcean. A new caprover password, minimum 8 characters. So on my other machine, oops, that did not do that. On my other screen, I will open up my friend password manager and create a new item called random caprover. And this will have a password. And I will save this password and paste it here. a valid email address. I love how they put it in quotes here. Doesn't know what it means, but I will, in this case, use my personal email address, which is now public email address. Already was when I shared the other Kamal file. So now it's setting up SSL. Are you familiar with SSL and SSL certificates, Mary?
Not really. I mean,
So,
I see it in the browser here and there.
Yeah, exactly. So when you go to HTTPS on a site, which the browser defaults to now, historically browsers used to default to HTTP. Now HTTPS is expected. Otherwise, your browser will show some error. The machine name, I was going to call it random. Yeah. So the way it works now is there's some secret. It works on a similar to SSH. It works on a public and a private key basis, and sometimes some global registry key basis as well, or like some root key as well sometimes. And then it checks to see whether you're the owner of, not you're the owner, but encryption is correct. It checks to see if the encryption is correct. So the data going between the server and the browser is encrypted using the SSL configuration of that server. Anyway, it just encrypts your data. So that's what it was setting up earlier. Okay. So now we seem to have that part done. So now it wants us using the IP of the server. So not even the domain just yet. Using the IP of the server, it wants us to visit port 3000. So let's do that here. And it's on HTTP. So port 3000. So I'm going to proceed. And this is not what I would expect. So I do get, so my server does have, because by default it went to HTTPS. I should have done HTTP, and even that, nothing. Weird. No. That's not what I want, right? I don't want it to serve HTTPS. I want to copy this. So now let's go here and do this from scratch. Because in the browser's kind of filling in some gaps. It's now again gone here. That is unfortunate. Because it seems like it wants me to yeah, that's weird because it seems like it wants me to make sure I go here. So let me try one more time because I am hitting the right server. But what does it matter if I'm going through the IP or not? Obviously, I should be able to go through the actual domain. So let's try that. If that is what's preventing it from working, I just want to cover my bases here. Whoops. So I'm going to HTTP : cannot be reached. So because they don't know about this. Because the server is not set up to do this. The server is set up to actually only do it on the IP, unfortunately. So it does matter, it turns out. So let's try again. Actually, maybe Mary, you can try. Let me get this for you. It may not work for you, and that's fine. But if it does, it might be something where there's some redirects set up on my browser. Just, I guess, try and hit the URL I sent you and see if you see nothing here yet, like I do. And on my side, what I will try and do is I might try and run it through Firefox or something.
I see nothing here yet.
Unfortunate. Yeah, because it's redirecting to 3000. I don't know how to get it not to do that. Sorry, it's redirecting to HTTPS.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. And I don't know how to stop it from doing that. I'm trying to think if there's a concerted way. Let's see if someone has. No. No. Wait. What is this? Interesting, 8 years ago. Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't happen. Clearing the browser cache did indeed fix it, but you would not have had browser cache for that URL, so I don't know why it would have done that. I'm going to give Safari a shot here off screen. No, they all redirect. So it must be happening server side. And I really wish that our friends at CapRover provided a way of doing this additionally, because ultimately what we're doing is configuring the root domain and then HTTPS enforcing it and then doing this. So let's see if I can't get into my RandomX server. Let's take a look to see what, if anything, CapRover has done. So here it's set up some data and a config file. Custom domain is already set up. Already did it. Oh, that's why. That's why. Because when we did it through here, maybe I didn't read. No, it seems very clear that it wants us to do this. But I feel like I should now be able to just go here regularly. No. HTTPS. No. I would have expected this to have just worked. Custom domain is rover dot. And when it had asked me to set up, okay. When prompted, enter the root domain. Now you can access your CapRover from captain dot. So I should be able to access it from captain dot. Reading. Who knew? Although this step is very, like, I wish this was highlighted in the same way this is, because I was like, okay, I'm done this. I'm done. Next step. It seems like this, because we did this end to end, this does not seem necessary. Because it's already HTTPS is enforced. Okay, anyway. So now let me go back here to my 1Password, copy this password here. This is the one that should get us in here. Sure. And it does. So here what we want to do is create a new app. And additionally, things that we can do here, by the way, is create one-click apps. So this just kind of to show the benefit of using something like this. It's like it allows you to and the benefit of using something like Docker, because now I can get Docker containers for things like some apps here. I don't know, maybe is there WordPress here? Yeah. So I can set up WordPress, for example, on a subdomain or on a full domain or whatever the case is, because WordPress has published a Docker container, or I could publish my own Docker container, which has my WordPress set up if it's that unique. Visual Studio Code I can run on the browser. There's many sort of things, Redis or Valkey. it will have Postgres. It must have Postgres. Somewhere here, yeah. So now I can install Postgres and run it without having to go on the server side and run Postgres. I can now have a system that allows me to install Docker containers through the UI. Anyway, but for us, we want our own app. And now that I've created it, I believe I should be able to do something similar here that I did on Kamal, which is to tell it, hey, these specific paths, I don't want you to. So one, environment variables, Mary, which is important, is like OpenAI key or whatever, right? So we would create these environment variables, which are now live here in production and live through multiple deploys. So we will have to set this up. Additionally, I was hoping to see somewhere here that it would give us the ability to say, retain these paths across deploys. I'm not seeing that instantly, but maybe somewhere here it's there. Like I really was hoping to see it here. However, let's just see. If we could do cap rover deploy here and still deploy whatever we have. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. Let's just get to the next error. So when I do cap rover deploy in my Cocoon folder, which you would also be able to do later on, I get to select my random server here and then my Cocoon project over here. And so the branch is main. And then no uncommitted changes will not be pushed to the server, no problem. And now it's failed. It says error cap definition file does not exist. So there must be something that allows us to create a cap definition file. So it says here that it sits at the root of the project. But it's not clear what it's called. Sorry. Like it says the cap definition file, but it's in the JSON format. So why doesn't it end in .json? One wonders. Oh yeah, there's 100 reasons why this won't work. That's fine. One of that reasons is very simply we haven't set up Docker here, and so I don't know if that we can do that in the next 5 minutes. But let's try. Let's give it a quick shot, and then we'll end where we end. So I will start by copying Honeypot's Docker file here. So now I have a Docker file that uses this, installs what we need, copies over the code, builds the app, and does this Keasley latest business and runs the server. So I think that should be good enough. It might not be, but it's a good start. And then I am happy to commit. Whoops, let's just check again if there's any honey references. Nope. So it is generic enough. And then I'm happy to commit this. Commit and push. And I'm curious to see whether that's all we need to do, whether it failed, just for my own learning. Okay, so even though the error it said was missing the definition file. What it really wanted was what clued me in was when I saw this. So it wasn't clear up here, but I was scrolling down here. It was like, oh, it's looking for Dockerfile path. Typically, Dockerfile lives here, but sometimes you can customize your Dockerfile, the path too. And I was wondering whether by default it was looking at the Dockerfile, couldn't find it, and said, hey, maybe you have a unconventional Dockerfile path. Let me look at the config. Oh, and the error it says is config is missing. But really the problem here is that the Dockerfile is not there, which is why I thought, hey, let me test that. That thought crossed my mind briefly. And I was like, let me just test it out. So it turns out it's true.
I'm impressed.
Oh, wow. Finally. We did it. We did it, folks. You've impressed Mary. But it is one of those things where like quickly trying to like just have a slight hypothesis, quickly test it. If it failed, no problem. Now I know. If I'm ever in that situation, no, I actually do need that file. But this is what happens after like decades of reading error messages. You're like, is this error message really true even? But honestly, you shouldn't. As a beginner, you should create the file because that would have worked.
I would never come to that conclusion.
You should.
I would never even be here.
You should. I'm just saying, definitely just create the definition file. Go move forward. So all of this is fine. It does seem to be building. It doesn't mean at the end of it it will run, but because we did the same basis in Honeypot was created out of the same Nux template effectively that Cocoon was, most of this should work. The only thing that this will not cover, I believe, up front is it won't have the SQLite database will not persist through deploys. So every deploy will start out with a new database until we figure out how to lock that path, or we figure out, or we even here, I'm totally cool actually with setting up Postgres even. So it says not secure, which is, let's see why, because I haven't enabled HTTPS, so I do have to do that manually. So now HTTPS is enabled for my app. I click. Okay, so look, for whatever reason, it's not working. No problem. That's actually fine. It's not a huge deal just yet, because I think the exercise was still useful in kind of determining where the boundaries of what we need to do are. The work for me that remains here is to maybe, like I'm probably just going to end up wiping that server clean and starting from scratch, because it had sort of like remnants of Kamal. So that's probably not why this is not working. Yeah, it's not why it's not working. But that's fine. Not a big deal. I just need to find out how to get it to work as a result. And so I'm going to, if I start clean, it'll make me a bit more confident in any potential issues. And then I'll probably Google how to find how I can do the same thing I was doing in Kamal, which is to say, hey, I'm actually just scanning for it as I'm talking to say, hey, I want a volume. I want a specific volume, and I want it to persist through deploys. My gut says there's got to be a way. Maybe it has to be enabled somewhere here or something in the settings. So that's the kind of stuff I'll take a look at to see how it works, and then we'll take it from there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you for coming to the rescue.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. it's if all these services kind of made it simpler.
I thought I was gonna swim, but I was drowning.
Excellent recall. Excellent recall. And before you go, though, tell us where you are with your swimming, because I don't know if we ever. I think we got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't breathe underwater. I thought I was doing it fine, but yeah, I think I was just holding my breath.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
just for confirmation purposes, you can swim as long as your head is above water, correct?
I can swim very ineffectively.
That's fine. That's still swimming. That's good enough. That's good enough for me. All right. Yeah, I guess I have some homework for the first time in many PLF sessions. That's fine. Look, maybe just what I need to wake up, something that'll fix the stretch issues in my neck.
That will get you to the gym.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna try and fix these bugs with these weak muscles. Okay, so, but otherwise, I feel like, yeah, I think we have our next steps here. Our goal is to deploy Cocoon, and then potentially, if there's no new features to be done there, for the time being, move on to a different project. And so we're almost there. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. Maybe next Friday. I mean, history says we won't be there next Friday, like just the pattern. Let's see if we can break the pattern, and we'll see you next Friday. All right.